Hello! Today we are going to be talking about value. And I bet you're wondering, well then why am I looking at socks on Mrs. Nicholson's telephone? Well, here's why. Sometimes when we hear the word value, we think about how much money we're spending versus how much we're getting. Okay, so as I look at this, here's a 6-pack of Nike athletic socks for 20 bucks. And here's a 6-pack of just gray men's socks for $12.50. Okay, so then when we're looking and comparing, I can go, the value here, I get the same amount of socks for less money. Okay, here I have to pay more money. So we're using these words more than or less than. It really has to do with how much of something is there. Okay, and so that's one use for the word value. In art class, we are going to be looking at value being how much of darkness or lightness. And it has to do with shading. Over here, I have 2 circles. Okay, here I have no shading going on. And here I have some shading going on. I have a light value, a tiny bit of pencil. And here I have more and more and more of that graphite added. So it becomes a darker value. And I've just smudged that in with my shading stump, which is a rolled up piece of paper. Your finger works too, and it's free. But in the classroom, we have shading stumps. So we talk about how much pencil is put on there, not very much for my lighter spaces, and how much pencil is applied, a whole lot, to get darker. And that's how we can achieve highlights and shadows in an artwork. And we do that, I hope you know, to make things look a little bit more realistic. Here, it's just an outline. It's pretty flat. Here, it's more 3D, more realistic. So that's where we are headed. So we have 2 different activities. In this first video, you're going to be creating a value scale. That's what this is, a value scale, a range going from light to dark. And here, you're just going to use your plain old number 2 pencil. That could be a mechanical pencil. Here's just a normal yellow number 2 pencil. You can see the number 2 there. Also, it says HB. That's going to be something to think about and hold on to for the next video. But for right now, we just need a number 2. We want this to be super light. How can we make this look white? Probably just leave it alone. The paper is already white. Okay, and then we need a light tone. Well, how can I use my pencil here and create a light tone? Should I press hard or soft? Probably pretty soft. I'm expecting that you're answering these just in your brain. So I am just lightly dancing my pencil across my page, like pretty much hardly touching at all. And you're like, I don't even see anything. What is she talking about? Here I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. So very, very slowly, I'm dancing that paper, just lightly resting it. I'm not pressing at all. I'm trying to get a very light value. Now, it's got some streaks to it. So in comes my blender tool. Okay, this is called a shading stump. Sometimes people call it other things. But anyway, you can take this and just kind of softly go back and forth. You can go in a circle. Oh, I know what it's called, a tortillon. Sometimes people call it a shading tortillon. But it's really just a rolled up piece of paper. So here I have a super light space. So for my bright highlights, I'm just not going to add anything. And then as I start to see shadows, I can press very lightly. Now when I go to my medium, I can either press a little bit harder or, now I'm going too quickly. If for this being my real one, I would go a little bit softer because you don't want streaks. At this point, I could go the other direction. Not pressing any harder, just adding another layer. I don't like going that quickly because you can see I've missed some spots. I've missed my borders. But you don't want to watch how slowly I normally work, because that's very boring. And I'm going to fill this in. Now, if it's not dark enough, what do I do? Go over it again. It should be slightly, just slightly darker than the one next to it. And change that. So I have super light, light, medium, and you can guess what I need to do here. All the way to my super darn dark, so I'm pressing so hard my pencil's going to break. If you can see a change from one to the next, you're good. And you're going to hold on to it. Make sure you write your name at the top of your paper, because you will be turning this in for a grade. And then you can start your second video.